Hey there, I'm Anita and welcome to the channel. Have you ever said something like, "My boss is a dragon," or "I slept like a log"? If you have, then you've already used some of the most powerful tools in the English language without even realizing it. I'm talking about metaphors and similes. These aren't just fancy terms for your English class. They are the secret ingredients that make our everyday conversations more vivid, more interesting, and more memorable. They add color and depth to our language, turning simple statements into powerful images. But what's the real difference between them? It's a question that trips up a lot of people, and honestly, it's easy to get them mixed up. They both draw comparisons, but they do it in fundamentally different ways. Today, we're going to dive deep into the world of figurative language. We'll break down the distinction between metaphor and simile point by point, so you'll never confuse them again. We're going to demystify these concepts and show you how they work their magic in our daily lives. And we're not going to be pulling examples from dusty old poetry books. Well, maybe one or two. Instead, we'll be looking at how you and I use these literary devices every single day, often without a second thought. From describing a tough workout to talking about a friend, we'll see how these tools are woven into the very fabric of our communication. By the end of this video, you'll be a pro at spotting the difference and maybe even crafting some brilliant comparisons of your own. So let's get started. So let's start with the metaphor. At its core, a metaphor is a figure of speech that makes a direct comparison between two things that are not alike but have something in common. The key word here is direct. A metaphor states that one thing is another thing. It doesn't just say it's like something else, it makes a bold, declarative statement. It's a way of understanding or experiencing one kind of thing in terms of another. It's a linguistic leap of faith, connecting two disparate ideas to create a new, more powerful meaning. Think of it this way. A metaphor collapses the distance between two concepts. It takes the qualities of one thing, let's call it the vehicle, and applies them directly to the subject you're talking about, the tenor. This isn't about literal truth. When I say the world is a stage, I don't literally believe we are all standing on a wooden platform with curtains and stage lights. Instead, I'm borrowing the concepts associated with a stage, acting, roles, an audience, a script, and applying them to the concept of life to offer a particular perspective on it. This directness is what gives metaphors their punch. They don't hedge their bets. They force our brains to build a bridge between two different conceptual domains. And in doing so, they can create a sudden flash of insight or a deep emotional resonance. It's an equation where A equals B, even though we know, logically, that's impossible. This act of equating the unlike is the very heart of the metaphor, a powerful tool for creating imagery and conveying complex ideas in a compact and impactful way. So, when you encounter a statement where one thing is being called another thing to highlight a shared quality, you've found a metaphor. It's a linguistic transformation. It's not just a comparison, it's an assertion of identity for the sake of artful communication. It's language at its most creative, painting a picture not with colors on a canvas, but with ideas in our minds. The absence of words like or as is your biggest clue that you're in metaphorical territory. Now, let's bring this down from the abstract and look at a metaphor you've probably heard or even used hundreds of times. Time is a thief. This is a perfect everyday example. We are making a direct comparison. We are not saying that time is like a thief. We are stating that time is a thief. It's a bold declaration that equates an abstract concept, time, with a concrete and rather sinister figure, a thief. What does this do? It immediately frames our understanding of time in a very specific way. Let's break down the qualities we associate with a thief. A thief is stealthy, unwanted, and operates without permission. They take things that are valuable to us, often when we aren't paying attention. Once something is stolen, it's usually gone forever, and the loss can feel sudden and unfair. By saying time is a thief, we transfer all of those negative, sneaky, and irreversible qualities directly onto our experience of time passing. It's a powerful way to express a feeling of loss and helplessness. Think about how this metaphor works in a sentence. Someone might say, "I can't believe the kids are already grown up. Time is a thief." This short phrase communicates a whole world of emotion. It conveys nostalgia, a sense of surprise at how quickly years have passed, and a slight sadness that those moments are gone for good. It's far more evocative than simply saying, "Time passes quickly." The metaphor gives the statement an emotional weight and a vividness that a literal statement just can't match. So you can see how this works. We take two completely unrelated things, the abstract concept of temporality and the physical person of a robber, and we fuse them together. The resulting metaphor, "time is a thief," creates a shortcut to a complex feeling. It's efficient, it's powerful, and it's a prime example of how we use these direct comparisons to make sense of our world and our experiences within it. This is the magic of the metaphor in action, right in the middle of our daily conversations. All right, now that we have a solid grip on metaphors, let's shift gears and talk about its close relative, the simile. Like a metaphor, a simile is also a figure of speech that compares two different things to create a more vivid description. However, there is a crucial, unmissable difference in how it makes that comparison. A simile is an indirect comparison. It explicitly uses connecting words to bridge the gap between the two things being compared. It doesn't say A is B. It says A is like B, or A is as B. These little words, like and as, are the telltale signs of a simile. They are the linguistic glue that holds the comparison together. Think of them as signal flags. When you see like or as being used to link two different things, your brain should light up. Aha! That's a simile. This makes the comparison less direct and more of an observation. It's a gentler, more explicit way of pointing out a similarity, rather than declaring an identity like a metaphor does. This indirectness doesn't make similes weaker than metaphors. It just gives them a different flavor. A simile maintains a certain distance between the two things it's comparing. When Shakespeare writes, "My love is like a red, red rose," he's not saying his love is a flower. He's pointing out the qualities they share: beauty, sweetness, perhaps a delicate nature with hidden thorns. The word like keeps the two concepts, love and rose, distinct, even while it highlights their connection. The comparison feels more illustrative and less absolute. So, the fundamental job of a simile is to illuminate a specific quality of the subject by likening it to something else that is well known for that quality. It's a tool for clarification and emphasis. If a metaphor is a bold equation, a simile is a more gentle analogy. It invites the listener to see the similarity you're pointing out, using those helpful guide words like, or as, to make the connection crystal clear. It's a comparison with built-in instructions. Let's ground this in an everyday example you've definitely heard. She is as busy as a bee. Here we have our classic simile structure, front and center. Notice that all-important connecting word, as. The sentence doesn't claim she is a bee. That would be a metaphor and, frankly, a bit strange. Instead, it says, she is as busy as a bee. The comparison is made explicit, and we immediately know which specific quality is being highlighted. Why a bee? What do we associate with bees? We think of them as industrious, constantly moving, flitting from flower to flower, collecting pollen, working tirelessly for the hive. They are the epitome of being occupied and productive. The image of a buzzing, perpetually active bee is universally understood. So, when we use this simile, we are borrowing that single powerful characteristic, busyness, and applying it to a person. It's a highly efficient way to describe someone's state of activity. This simile paints a much clearer picture than just saying, she is very busy. How busy? The simile provides a scale and a visual. We can almost see her buzzing around the office, moving from task to task with the same focused energy as a bee in a field of flowers. The comparison makes the description more dynamic and relatable. It taps into a shared cultural understanding of what a bee's work ethic looks like, and uses it as a shorthand for human behavior. And this is the beauty of the simile in daily life. It takes a familiar image, a bee, a log, a mouse, a fox, and uses it as a benchmark for a human quality. He sleeps like a log. She's as quiet as a mouse. He's as sly as a fox. In each case, the words like or as create a clear, easy-to-understand comparison that enriches our language. It's a simple trick, but it's incredibly effective at making our descriptions more colorful, specific, and engaging. So, there you have it. The great mystery of metaphor versus simile is solved. The key difference, the one thing to remember, is all about the directness of the comparison. A metaphor makes a bold, direct statement saying one thing is another, like chaos is a friend of mine. It creates a powerful, fused identity. A simile, on the other hand, is a more gentle, indirect comparison that uses the magic words like or as to connect two different things, such as saying someone is as strong as an ox. Metaphor is identity. Simile is similarity. Now that you're armed with this knowledge, I challenge you to become a figurative language detective. Listen for these comparisons in your daily conversations, in the music you listen to, and in the shows you watch. You'll start noticing them everywhere. And more importantly, don't be afraid to experiment with them yourself. Think of a friend and try to describe them using both a metaphor and a simile. Is your friend a rock, or are they like a rock? See how the meaning and the feelings shift. Playing with language is one of the most fun and creative things we can do. It's how we make our thoughts and feelings come alive for other people. So go ahead, give it a try in the comments below. Come up with your own metaphor or simile to describe your day. I'd love to see what you create. Thanks so much for watching. If you found this helpful, you know what to do. Like and subscribe for more deep dives into the magic of language. Until next time, stay curious.